Ay, mija, abuelita's on her way and I still need to shop for the party.
No worries. Let's order through Instacart.
¿Insta qué?
Sí, llama. We can order groceries and more online and get everything delivered in as fast as an hour.
Everything for dinner? Carne, tortillas, limas, plátanos.
Claro. Anything else?
Just make sure the plátanos are ripe.
Get groceries delivered same day with Instacart so you have more time for family. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply.
Percolate on a particular mix of odd and inspiring news headlines in Wendy's Coffee House. Newsmakers with a penchant for the unknown, unexplained, and unusual share their experiences with UFOs, ghost encounters, near-death experiences, and more for your own unique blend of Wendy's Coffee House Curious. And now, here's Wendy.
It's that time of year when all the fun stuff happens. It heats up, it gets exciting and interesting, and there's no lack. Kansas City had some UFO sightings, so Margie Kay is going to come in and talk about that. She says even though that they tried to debunk it and said that the balloons that were doing, what was it, the Google Skyview Overview something, that was one story, but there's another story, and that is ongoing. So we'll check in with Margie Kay about that. That I thought was fascinating because when I looked it up to see why they thought they had debunked it and what that was about, a guy who originally saw orbs, UFOs, before this existed, he thought, well, this is a great idea. I'm going to make these and then use them in some capacity. But he designed them because of a UFO sighting. And I remember when I went to Sedona and I had the picture that developed afterwards and looked up and I had no idea. I had not seen what came out in the picture. I posted it on the blog, Wendy's Coffee House. I posted it on the blog and you can see like 5 of these little round circles up in the sky. And it was, wow, I did not see that. But there's another guy in California who calls in UFOs on a regular basis. And he's at these events where he will call them in. And he's real low key. He's a total antithesis of the public speaker. He's just a guy who has these extraordinary experiences. And as he's telling you about how he calls in the UFOs, he also says, well, and for DARPA, I've changed the weather. I sent it to a typhoon the other way, and it's just what I do. Okay, now you might laugh and you might think he's totally off the wall. Ted Owens, and I did the show on Ted Owens, and talking about how he was also able to influence the weather. And it happened, it's real. Another one, Rolling Thunder, was known for bringing rain to certain areas. So these things I find fascinating. And the connection with the guy who calls in the UFOs says they look like orbs. And I was calling them orbs, and they're UFOs. And so the technology, terminology, the way we catalog them and try to describe them right now is leaving a whole lot up for interpretation. So Margie Kay is going to tell us about that. Okay, with the orb thing, Margie Kay is local, and she is pretty much the one-stop shop for anything paranormal in Kansas City, whether it's MUFON or whether it's Sasquatch, whether the big flying bird recently, all sorts of activity. And right now, as I was talking about those orbs, you were saying that the orbs that people saw earlier, the DARPA balloon things that they tried to debunk, but other people say that's what they look like. And the guy who designed the DARPA balloon says that's how he got the inspiration to design them. Margie Kay,
yeah,
the floor is yours.
Okay, well, we've been investigating this, and we're not finished with the investigation, but so far we've been able to determine the size of the objects at 37.5 feet. We've been able to determine the height, the altitude at 2,900 feet, and the DARPA balloons are designed for 75,000 feet and above. In the stratosphere. They are not designed for low level. So we have a question about that. I have submitted questions to DARPA, and they have not responded yet. And I don't know if they will respond.
Yeah.
But, these are a military application, so we're not 100% sure about that. But the big news about this is that we were able to take apart each video frame by frame, and when you do that, you catch other objects. And in this case, we were able to see 20 other dark objects darting about these larger white objects. So that remains unexplained, and it's extremely interesting.
Wow. Wow. Okay, and I wrote this last night. I stepped out of the house. Andy and I just stepped out. I looked up at the clouds. He looked up at the trees, and I saw this like little shadow just quickly dart across. And I thought, what the heck? And then I said, do you see that? And he was looking, and again, I saw it dart back by, and it was just a quick, it was like a smoke, only it had form, and it had direction, and to me, intention. I thought, is that something like people are seeing?
It probably is. That some of us can see them with the naked eye, other people don't notice them. But if you look at the skies and watch carefully, you may see some darting about. And there's quite a few of them, and they're what we're calling the fast movers.
Okay. Wow.
Because they're extremely, and they were clocked by our investigators at 8,000 miles an hour.
Okay. Well, yeah. What I saw was, and it just looked like a fast, intentional being. Something's, kind of. It was translucent, transparent. You could see through it, but it was gray and just a moving shadow. So I'm like, what the heck am I seeing?
They're moving so fast that you can barely see them.
Okay, because there was an insect nearby and a bird nearby. I was like, that's not it, and it's not a shadow. This is something that's moving. Okay, so people are still seeing this. When they see something, they can call you, right? Because they call MUFON, and that's you.
We prefer that they go to the website at MUFON.com. But if they can't, they can call me directly at 816-833-1602.
Okay, because this stuff is ongoing, and it helps to track it. I had no idea that what I was seeing was related until I'm hearing you talk about it and knowing that I stepped out last night and saw this funky thing. And the fact that I said to Andy, do you see that, gives me comfort because I pointed it out.
Yes, indeed. I think you did see one of the fast movers. But we have other sightings as well, lots and lots of sightings. Kansas City is going through a major UFO flap right now. So we want to hear from everyone who's seen anything so we can determine where they were and the size and all of that.
Oh, Margie, thank you. Thank you for checking in, and we'll follow up with this in a few weeks. Also, UFOs, ETs, unexplained, Sasquatch, Board Camp Crystal Mine. My husband and I went down to check out the crystals, not thinking anything else was going on. It was a cool crystal mine. They did have on their website and in their information a wonderful view of a levitating rock. And I thought, that is fabulous because the crystals are making it levitate. So when we got there, Orville and Cheryl are on the line. There was this Sasquatch element that all of a sudden, by the way, we have this other activity going on. We wrote the book Beams, but now that you're here, let's take a tour. Orville and Cheryl, thank you so much for doing what you're doing, because you live in an awesome place.
Oh, thank you, Wendy. Thank you for having us today.
Well, you're going to be in Kansas City for the upcoming Paracon, Paracon.net, if you want information on that. But I wanted to the two of you, and Orville, he's like the go-to, the crystal magnet. Orville, wherever they are, the crystals just kind of automatically pop up out of the earth. Okay, maybe not that. Hi, Orville. How you doing?
How you doing? They call me the Crystal Whisperer. I just go out and talk to them.
It's incredible. When we were there, we're digging in this spot trying to find a crystal. Orville goes, here. And it's just amazing because he goes to this spot and all of a sudden there are, 5 or 6 crystals. There they are. And he's like, yeah, uh-huh. With this, though, recently, you told me you had some recent activity, and you sent me a picture, Cheryl, of this picnic table. Can you tell me what was going on with that?
Well, it seems like our activity has definitely increased. As far as, I don't know, the only way I describe it is like they're making contact with us in various ways. Not necessarily audibly and speaking English, but they leave us a lot of gifts, tree structures, rock stacks, just all kinds of, little things like that. It's just amazing, and it's always amazing. But the most recent was we walked outside in the morning of July 12th, and we found our picnic table, which is right in back of our house. It was flipped completely over on its head, its top, and there was these 4 crystal or quartz crystal rocks, one on each leg, and they were dirty. So in other words, they'd just been recently dug up. They weren't anything taken from our shop. We have a lot of the crystals outside for sale, and it wasn't that. They dug them up especially. So it's just mind-blowing.
We had a big tour that night, and there was a lot of excitement that night on the tour, so we don't even know when the table was flipped over. That's
true. But anyway, we found it about 8:30 in the morning when we finally got outside, and quite a shocker, I must say.
Yeah.
And
Your picnic table's right there on the back porch. You'd think you might have heard something, and to see it completely flipped over, I'm looking at the picture going, that's excellent.
Well, I just hope they don't surprise us with our car next or something.
No,
you know what I mean? It's like, okay, guys, put the limits on here.
Yeah, boundaries would be helpful. Well, the other story that you had, and I think we might want to get into that in the next break, because it isn't just you guys. It's people who come visit who also have the experiences too. That's why you do the tours, and that's why this thing is so fascinating. So if we can come back and talk about some of that Sasquatch element, the why you guys think this is ongoing and what might have sparked it. Let's do that in the next break, okay?
Sure.
Just set that up for how this all started. Orville and Cheryl Murphy, they're going to be at Casey Paracon. That's coming up in Kansas City the 9th of August, 9th and 10th. So if you want to bookmark that or go back and check it out, depending on when the show is on, you can do that. Wendy's Coffee House, KCMO Talk Radio. Wendy's Coffee House, KCMO Talk Radio. Thank you for listening. This is one of the most amazing places if you have a chance and you want to go check out things that are unexplained, ongoing. Board Camp Crystal Mine, Mena, Arkansas is the place to go, and the crystals are fantastic. So people who've had the crystals, mine, I have one, and it's a fantastic energy. If you do any kind of rock work, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But there you go. So anyway, Orville and Cheryl Murphy are the owners, on-site managers, and they'll greet you and give you the tour. And the paranormal tours are fun too. But how did this start? Because the book Beams kind of gives everybody a background of what you saw when it started out. But at that point, the Sasquatch activity hadn't really manifested. Is that the better way of saying it?
Well, after the beams, we saw the beams, we started having a lot of Native American tribes showing up here, and they were saying that their medicine man sent them here to bless the star people and the forest people. And they were having visions. And I turned to them and I said, what's a forest person? We didn't know.
Yeah.
And then it was the Native Americans who explained to us that a lot of the territory here and everything, it's all sacred ground. And this is not something that's just happened. It's been happening for pretty much forever,
So when you guys started experiencing this, Orville, I remember you had an encounter. You told me that something was, thrown at you, tossed at you. What was that like? How did you deal with that?
Well, you think, we had pallets thrown. We've had sawhorses thrown. A sawhorse went over 100 feet. But at first you think, you start to, I don't want to use the word panic, but you get really, really concerned. Okay?
Yeah. Anxious, yes.
But all of a sudden, it's like a giant peace comes over you, and there's no fear. So whatever is causing everything, it's not harmful. It's not there to hurt us. It's not, I think they're trying to communicate, but they speak a completely different kind of language,
Yeah. Well, and to get through, because a lot of us, doing in Western society, you're in autopilot. You're not looking for that kind of interaction, for one thing. And the second thing is you don't even know it exists. And so for you guys, you're right there basically on ground zero.
And we perceive the world around us from our life experiences of our past. And what we kind of look at doing now is I'm not looking at my past anymore to interpret anything. I'm looking at my future. Mm-hmm. What's next that's going to be exciting?
And that's where we get into the stuff that happens inside. Cheryl, your mom is incredible. She's 102. And for her last birthday, you sent me a picture of what you found. This is a great story. What was it?
Oh, thanks, Wendy. Yeah, the morning of Mom's 102nd birthday, and we take care of her. She lives with us. So I went into her bedroom to help her get up, and I noticed something kind of sparkly on her chair, and I thought it was like maybe a piece of cellophane or a plastic bag or something, kind of crumpled up. And I got closer, and I was blown away because it was a beautiful little quartz crystal cluster, and it was like just left there on her chair. And her bed's right next to her chair, and I was, going to get her up, and I was just blown away, like, oh my gosh, how did this get here? And it was just beautiful, and it just touched my heart to the extent, like, you know what, these beings that are communicating with us now, they're reaching out. It's all up to them, and I don't know why, but they're reaching out, and they're emotional, they're kind, they're loving. Gosh, how touching to leave my mom a gift like that,
Yeah, well, and to know that something, it's amazing that it can do that without disturbing anything else. Because when you see and you hear the stories of what these beings can look like when we are able to see them visually, they're massive. It's, they wouldn't fit in your house.
Right. Right. And, we can only imagine how they're doing it. We are trying to figure it out because we're humans. We have, thinking minds. And of course, we're curious and we're trying to figure it out. And, I'm always asking why? Why is this happening? Why all of a sudden? I tell people, we're just normal people who ended up having a paranormal experience. And it did start with our seeing those 3 huge beams of light, which MUFON came out and investigated. The Travel Channel came out and filmed it on Josh Gates' show, Expedition Unknown. That was in 2017. That's how it all started for us. It's still a head-scratcher, but it's developed since then. So first it was, the UFOs, like, okay, the UFOs. Then we started seeing orbs, which we still wonder what those are. We've heard Native Americans particularly believe they're just spirits of people, perhaps, or maybe spirits of non-people, that we're never here. I don't know. And now it's perhaps they are a type of UFO. I don't know if they're a type of craft or being. But who knows? They're little round balls of light. They've appeared here in different colors and also in different sizes. We see them. Our visitors on our tours see them, or maybe we don't see them, but we photograph them, and they come up in our cell phone pictures. It's just so amazing. Sometimes there's streaks, like maybe streaks of energy. That you can see with the naked eye or manifested in the cell phone picture. Anyway, it just kept mushrooming and developing until finally the Sasquatch component introduced itself to us, and that was just mind-blowing. It's like, what? Isn't what we're going through enough? Now we have Sasquatch?
Yeah.
And I don't know, but it's fascinating because they seem to be making contact with us. Like I said, they leave us these gifts. There are tree structures in our forest, which you can go online and Google, Bigfoot tree structures, and you'll see all kinds.
That's the amazing
they
thing.
gave us rock stacks, and now they flipped our picnic table and left us rocks on each leg of the upside-down picnic table.
Okay, hold on. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about what people can see in the paranormal tours that you do, because this is unlike anything else. This is interactive, it's ongoing, and it's accessible, open to the public, all right? So if you're curious about this is an opportunity to check it out. My guests, Orville and Cheryl Murphy, and it's Board Camp Crystal Mine, Mena, Arkansas. I'm going to mention something else about those orbs, too. Wendy's Coffee House, KCMO Talk Radio. This is the fun stuff, and it's all right here. Wendy's Coffee House, KCMO Talk Radio. My guests, Orville and Cheryl Murphy from Board Camp Crystal Mine, Mena, Arkansas. And I'm telling you, it's really an amazing place. I went early spring, so it was nice because it was a little cooler. You could see through the trees. You could see the landscape and the layout of that area. It's gorgeous. Hills, trees, beautiful place. If you're just going to visit to collect crystals, it's fantastic. But beyond that, the paranormal tours. Now, I want to mention something real quickly. The Board Camp Crystal Mine, when Cheryl was talking about, the orbs and stuff like that, Dorothy Izat, you might want to look her up because she did a film, Contact with Beings of Light. And that film is a fantastic representation of what this might be going on. And I wanted to say it as a comparison because the orbs that people talk about, Dorothy has footage of. And not just one, but hundreds of films of these orbs. And at one point when they're saying, well, we're going to try and get this, they had a film crew come in thinking maybe they would or would not get it. Who knows? It was, to where they could be hallucinating. In the window, behind the daughter, as she's talking about her mom, are the orbs. And they go back and they try to figure out how that could have happened. It isn't CGI, no special effect. And then the family, the look on the family's faces as they're seeing that, it wasn't an act. So that's fantastic. When you guys have people come in to film this, you've got the levitating rocks, you have other things that you've captured. What's the most unique on film that you guys have been able to get, in your opinion?
In my opinion, the greatest thing that we've ever got pictures of was just a simple single orb. We've got some fantastic stuff, but one evening, we were sitting there. There was about 7 or 8 people on the stage, and we saw an orb about the size of a basketball floating across the field. Everybody's cheering, they're clapping, everybody's taking pictures. But the amazing part was this. I said, that is the prettiest blue I've ever seen. And somebody goes, it was green. And somebody said it was yellow. Somebody said it was red. Everybody saw a different color. And that's what was amazing to me is I think the paranormal is not a cookie cutter. It's not cut and dry. You see what you need to see. And it's a personal experience between you and them. And there's so many people out there who go, oh, no, you have to do it like this and you have to do it. No, you don't. It's a personal thing. And that's what opened my eyes to the fact that we're just the gatekeeper. And what you see here or what you see when you're at home, it's between you and them. And it's a personal thing.
Well, that's what I think is so fantastic. They meet you on the level that you're at. And if you can accept this next level, because that's, you guys had the introduction with the beams and some of the things that were happening. And then Sasquatch was kind of the last on the list of, okay, I think they're ready here, by the way. And that started happening. Does that make sense?
It sure does. It really does. It was like our eyes were being opened one step at a time, baby steps, right? Baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
So we still feel like we're in kindergarten. We're still learning about these beings or the paranormal in our lives. And by the way, we did start the tours. When we started seeing things, naturally our friends and family wanted to come look. And pretty soon someone just suggested, why don't you open it up for tours? How many places are there like this? Like you said, Wendy, I don't know how many there are, but this is an opportunity for people to come and have the opportunity to experience something firsthand, that they can relate to, like Orville was just saying. It's personal. And if you want to see some samples of some of the orbs, video and images that we have got on our cameras, and some from friends. If you go to our website, boardcampcrystalmine.com, we do have a link to our YouTube channel. There's lots of stuff on there, including the shocking levitating rocks. So
Yes.
Yeah, and people say, they want to debunk that and say, oh, that's impossible. Oh, they went and they moved them and they did all that. But you have the timer on there, the little timer that says, hey, look, this is going on. And you guys are shocked by it, too. So it's not just, this is like the magic that is there.
Right. And then, getting with the rocks, some are just levitating. Some we hear them, and we've even seen them just like drop all of a sudden right out of the sky. Even on our stage. I think you experienced that when you were here. Like all of a sudden, boom, they drop. And like, well, wait a minute, where did that come from? When we've walked in the woods, we've had rocks, I can only say, thrown in our direction. No one's ever been hit by a rock. Mm-hmm. And so we've heard at the very beginning that was Sasquatch. They'd throw these rocks at people to get their attention. And it happens all over the world, I guess.
Yeah.
There's many cases of that type going on. And it's like, okay, well, they got my attention. Yeah, that rock came in about
that was a big rock.
Landed on the ground. It's so shocking when it happens. But yes, when we sit on our stage, it has a wooden deck. We've been getting lots of rock drops, so to speak. And where they come from, I don't know. Are they materializing? Are they being thrown? Who knows? But anyway, we're not afraid. We're not afraid. At this point, they've proven themselves to us to be benevolent beings. And it's fun. It really is fun. We never know what's going to happen next. Like the picnic table.
Yes,
okay?
yes. Well,
we never know what's going to happen next.
Even with the rocks.
I just don't want it to be my car, like I said
I
earlier.
know. I was like, no, don't go there. No, even with the rocks, though, I remember when I was there was no noise, and then the stage was empty, and then there was a rock. So it's not even, you don't even always know. And that was the thing, too, that we got there, I think, the night before, the log up in the tree, which I took a picture. I posted that. It's like massive. This is a big, 3 foot in diameter of a log, not a branch, that was put maybe, 20 feet up above, and that was out beyond your picnic table, beyond your back porch. Yeah. And Orville's standing there going, yeah, see?
Yeah.
I didn't do that. No, Orville, you didn't.
No. It didn't blow in with the last tornado either. Oh, my goodness.
Well, I think Gary was there at that point, and he was investigating. He does Gary is a phenomenal researcher, and a lot of people in the field know him. He does not call attention to himself, nor does he publicize what he does, but he's one of the folks who researches this paranormal, these anomalies, and he covers a lot of territory, but you guys have his full attention, that's for sure.
Oh, yes, he is a fantastic person, and we really appreciate people that, they want to approach this scientifically, just like MUFON, but they're believers. They're not trying to debunk it as nothing. They're trying to, prove that, yes, this is real. This is really happening. It's not imaginary.
Well, they're trying to figure out the commonalities, the common factors. What might be a predictor? What might be, is it a ley line? Is it the fact that the crystals are magnetic or geomagnetic, electromagnetic? And why do the UFOs show up? And you've got pretty much a grid out there that you call the nursery, where all of these trees have crystals at the base. And that's also pretty phenomenal.
Right. And, we don't try to prove anything because, one, you can't give a skeptic enough proof anyway, and a believer doesn't need any to start with.
Right.
So people just come out here, they come out on their own, they sit down and experience what they need.
The best thing I would say if you're thinking about visiting is that's the way I was. Don't have any expectation or preconceived notion of what will happen. Just go and say, let's go find some crystals.
There you go. Many people do.
Yeah.
And we welcome skeptics. My goodness, we were skeptics.
Yeah.
It's mentally healthy to be a skeptic. You better be. You know what I mean? You got to check it out.
It's safety first. Safety first. Give a boundary and see what goes from there. Okay, we're gonna take a break. Come back and talk about you guys are coming to the Paracon, and are you going to bring crystals? So hang on. It's Wendy's Coffee House, KCMO Talk Radio. Wendy's Coffee House, KCMO Talk Radio. My guest, Orville and Cheryl Murphy, Mena, Arkansas, Board Camp Crystal Mine. put that on your bucket list, okay? Because if you have not ever experienced anything unique, out of the ordinary, unexplained, this is an opportunity. I'm not going to say it's a guarantee. There's no guarantee, but there's an opportunity. And take a friend with you. So if you miss your opportunity, they get one. And then take another friend. So that one of you, of maybe the 10 or 20 of your friends that are going to go check out the crystals, may have something unexplained that then everybody else can go, wow, I know somebody. Okay, that's how it makes it legit when we share it. And then you guys are coming to Kansas City for the Paracon coming up here in August. And information on that, I'll put links on the website. I'm sure you guys have some links with yours as well. But the good thing is you're bringing those wonderful crystals.
Yes, we are bringing crystals. And what sets our crystals apart is we respect the earth. And all of the crystals at the Barkat Crystal Mine are hand dug. We don't use heavy equipment. We don't dynamite the earth. If you're not going to respect them and harvest them in a proper manner, leave them in the ground.
And see, to explain the difference on that, when it's a cut crystal or a harvested crystal, that actually damages the stone, or it wounds the stone, basically.
It grew in the manner it grew for a particular reason. So you can't, in my opinion, you can't take a big broken crystal that you broke with a backhoe digging it up and then recut it and reshape it and say, now it'll do this. It wasn't grown to do that. It was grown to do something else, and you broke it.
One of the most amazing.
You fix it.
One of the most amazing things, the stories, the initial one that I heard was when you went up on the hill and you had kind of a little warning to get out of the space, and the next morning you go up and the hill had kind of popped its top.
Right. That's what we called the star pit. And for about a week and a half, we kept seeing this big star up on the mountain. And come to find out, we went around the back and we noticed the star on the other side. So once we changed positions, so did the star. So we realized it wasn't a star in the sky. It was a light that was above the trees in one spot. Then we had a big storm, and the star was gone the next night after the big storm, and we went out and looked, and the side of the hill fell over, and they were just beautiful, beautiful crystals, a lot of chloride crystals, the greens, and they were just laying in piles.
See, that is absolutely extraordinary. That's extraordinary. And that, like you said,
the earth just gave them to us.
Yeah. You didn't have to dig. You didn't have to do anything. It just said, here. Okay, so you guys get a lot of this interaction, though, and you're talking about the trees. I've seen where you play and you set something out and it will be replaced with another toy. Talk about a little bit about what that's like, because that's incredible.
Well, I think they're trying to teach a simple language. We are in the first day of preschool. So we have pieces of pipe, plastic pipe. We cut different colors and shapes and sizes. And we have a plastic toy. And we have found the pipes arranged in a design and the toy missing. If we go into the woods and we find the tree structure shaped like the designs of the pipes, that's where we find the toy. And it's happened like 5 times now.
Wow. Oh, that's a progression.
Yes.
Okay. So, again, this is continuing and ongoing. The book Beams, you sell that on your site for people to do to come in and do a tour. The paranormal tours, are they Saturday, Sunday? What's the schedule right now?
Friday and Saturday is when we usually do the tours, but we are willing to do them any night of the week if people cannot make it on Friday or Saturday. You know, we live right here. We're very flexible, and we want to try to accommodate people's, schedules. We understand. So, and we just love having people. We love hosting people. We just love everybody that comes. It's so awesome.
And the tour goes from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, enough time to set up and kind of sit there. So bring it. Is there anything you discourage in terms of equipment? What the people bring in, like the night vision camera? Okay, is there anything that you have bad results with?
Anything that's non-intrusive. A lot of times we've had people show up with like I got these big lights, and I want to get some. And it's like, if you're going to ruin somebody else's night vision where they can't see, we're going to ask you to turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we had one guy wanted to show up with a Ouija board, and we said no.
No.
But it's just show up and just bring your camera and bring a little flashlight if you want to, and we have coffee and cookies and stuff for everybody, and we go up the hill and while it's still light, come back down, watch videos, and then we sit on the stage.
Okay. Yeah, and this is like a little amphitheater area space that actually on the hill you had the stage to just the opposite, where people would sit on the hill and look at the stage. This is where everybody sits on the stage and looks out at the hill.
Right.
Yes. We originally built the stage in 2013, and we had several years of our Crystal Music Festival. And after the sighting of the beams, which changed our lives in 2017, now the stage is being used as an observation deck.
Okay, and you wonder who's observing who, because you can the Sasquatch, I'm sure, out there going, "Oh, look, there's a new crew tonight." Okay.
There you go. And I'll tell you what we saw in the heavens, in fact, just what was it, just a few nights ago, everybody saw this cigar-shaped thing near the moon, and everybody was dumbfounded, of course, and it's moving along, and it looked a lot closer than you'd normally think.
Yeah.
Like
no sound, no nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
But it was, to estimate the size, if you hold your arm out as far as you can and put your thumb and your pointer finger about an inch apart, that's how big it was in the sky.
Oh, that's impressive.
Oh, it was huge. And everybody stood there. Everybody's got a phone in their hand. And we were so hypnotized.
Yes.
We took a picture.
That is what people say, and they don't understand it. But it's because when it rocks your world, the last thing you do is think about doing something, trying to move. You're just you're mesmerized. You're sitting there going, trying to actually calculate what it is you're seeing, so that the taking of a picture is a miracle when it happens at the proper time. But I'm glad to hear you say that you guys are all standing there and nobody could take a picture, because that makes perfect sense. And that's what people have to get in their little noggin, that just because you see something miraculous doesn't mean you're going to be able to get that photo op moment.
Right.
Well, we were like memorized. I mean, it was just, nobody said a word. Everybody's just standing and staring. And then it lasted a good 35, 40 seconds and was gone.
Wow.
And it was floating across the sky. No sound.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there you go. If you're listening, see, things happen that we have no explanation for, and a lot of them are happening at the Board Camp Crystal Mine. So check out the videos on the levitating rocks, and you guys will be at the event, with a Paracon event. Are you doing anything else? Is that the big one for right now?
That's what we're doing in August, and we were invited back to the Arkansas Paranormal Expo in Little Rock, and that, I believe, is the first weekend of October.
Excellent.
So we're very honored. And we're honored to be on your show again, Wendy. Honestly, this is just so cool.
Oh,
it really is. We appreciate it.
I'm thrilled, because you guys are kind of like the epicenter. You're where things are happening, and you're doing the right thing because they're continuing to happen, and you're giving it a venue that most people don't have the opportunity to even fathom, let alone experience. So thank you.
Well, we own the land, but nobody owns the phenomenon. And you can't claim ownership of something that is owned by the whole world.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm hoping somebody else is going to do another a special, possibly a documentary, because you got plenty of stuff to add, and I'm sure that'll be down the road here. But we got to get out of here. Again, my guests, Orville and Cheryl Murphy. Go to, if you can, Mena, Arkansas, just for a little vacay, and check out the Crystal Mine. Check out some crystals. If you can't go there, you've got the Paranormal event coming up, Paracon in Kansas City, and the crystals will be here. But one way or the other, explore, expand, believe. Anything is possible. And when you have an experience like this, you'll know it's for real. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Orville and Cheryl. Take care. See ya. Stay curious.
Instacart shoppers know groceries. They know that you can't make guacamole with rock-hard avocados. They know how to quickly find those peanut butter pretzels you can never find. And they keep you in the know by giving you updates about your order along the way. Let Instacart shoppers help take shopping off your plate so you can get time and energy back for what really matters. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply. Instacart. Add life to cart.
Ay, mija, abuelita's on her way and I still need to shop for the party.
No worries. Let's order through Instacart.
¿Insta qué?
Sí, llama. We can order groceries and more online and get everything delivered in as fast as an hour.
Everything for dinner? Carne, tortillas, limas, plátanos.
Claro. Anything else?
Just make sure the plátanos are ripe.
Get groceries delivered same day with Instacart so you have more time for family. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply.